Because I have a very obsessive personality. So if I got really into The Sims, I wouldn't write books anymore. And I hear playing Sims doesn't pay very well.
So next up making a sim with us, we have Kiersten White, author of LUCY Undying. And who are we going to be building today?
Well, the book is LUCY Undying, so we're going to be making Lucy, and hopefully she doesn't die.
All right, so let's start with the basics. What's her skin tone?
All right, so Lucy is British.
So pale.
Pale. She doesn't see the sun.
So
it's more the British than the vampire in that case.
We can go real pale.
Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just go real pale.
All right, and does she have any sort of like facial marks or just...
No, she just has a face. But it's a nice face. She's very pretty.
All right, and what do her eyes look like?
What do her eyes look like? They are very light, pale blue.
Interesting, like very saturated blue?
No, very unsaturated blue. I don't know what that means. I'm making it up.
So does this level...
Sure, let's go with that.
And do you have any opinions about her eye shape?
Oh, do I? This is where you learn that in all of my books, my characters are just words. I never know what they look like. People will ask me and I'll be like, what do you think they look like? So let's just do, those are pretty. Let's go with those.
All right, and what color hair?
She has blonde hair.
Straw blonde?
Depending on how she's feeling.
Pale blonde?
Sometimes she has like a strawberry blonde hair.
Kind of like that?
Let's do that.
What
Yeah.
sort of hairstyle does she have?
Let's do...
I feel like she...
Not bangs. Well, she has wolves in her hair. Have you seen the cover? Do you have is there a sim version with wolves in your hair? No? They didn't go that far? Let's go with that. That looks nice.
I like the feathers.
Can't really imagine her with feather earrings.
And then let's match her eyebrows.
Yeah.
Do you have thoughts about her eyebrows? Thick eyebrows, thin eyebrows.
Not thin. She's not an early 2000s girl. I recovered. Those are good. Let's do those.
Is she a red lips person?
Yeah, let's go bold red. I mean, she's a vampire. So let's go freshly bitten red.
And I've got like, oh God. Shiny, matte.
That's good. I like where it is right now.
And what about blush?
Well, she's a vampire, so not a lot of blush. She's not got a lot going on there.
All about the red lips.
All about the red lip, yes.
All right, so tell me about her fashion sense.
Ooh, well, it depends on the era you find Lucy. So we follow Lucy through several different decades. My favorite is when she's in Paris between the world wars. She gets very into fashion then. Do you have any flapper costumes?
Let's take a look.
All right. I mean, she would be so into this. This would be like, Lucy would play Sims nonstop.
I mean, she's got a lot of time.
Oh, but wait, that looks good. Then we could just throw her back to when she's 19. Let's do that. That's fun.
All right, and you can't really see them, but what about shoes?
Yeah, who cares? She cares. See, this is where Lucy and I differ. She actually cares about fashion.
And is that something like, do you have to then research fashion?
Yes, I had to research like fashion and hairstyles, and I looked at, there were a lot of like flyers and advertisements from that era in Paris, which was actually fun to look at. But yeah, I based all of like the clothing descriptions on that. And then I also looked up costumes that like dancing girls wore in that era in Paris. My favorite, Josephine Baker, had a skirt that was bananas, literally. It wasn't like, that skirt's bananas, it's that skirt is bananas. I don't think they have that in The Sims though.
And yeah, I guess just to backpedal a little bit, so Lucy, we all know her from Dracula.
Yes.
But you decided that you want to change how she is in Dracula.
Yes. So Lucy was done as a character in Dracula. And if you're familiar with the novel, she's a 19-year-old girl. She's beautiful. Everyone's in love with her. And over the course of many agonizing chapters, she gets attacked by Dracula over and over and over again until she dies and comes back as a vampire. And these men who are so in love with her decapitate her because surely she wouldn't want to be that. Clearly, in my version of the novel, she doesn't get decapitated. It would make it awkward for her to go through the decades without a head. So yeah, I just took her from that story. I used that as the base, and then I built her a new story. I felt like her character was so vibrant, so loving, so funny, and also really queer. She always read very queer to me. She talks about like kissing Mina and how her happiest memories are when they used to hold hands and kiss. And I was like, that's not straight. And so I got to build a new narrative for her, give her the girlfriend love interest that she deserves, and really trace that journey from what would happen if, as a 19-year-old on the cusp of adulthood, you were ripped away from everything that you had known and from life itself and pushed into this sort of like Twilight, pardon the pun, Twilight existence where you didn't know what your role was, why you were there, if you had a purpose anymore, and what that would do to you and how long it would take you to really find yourself. So yeah, that's Lucy Undying.
All right, and with that, what do you think her aspirations would lean towards?
Just love. She just wants love.
All right, so serial romantic or soulmate?
She wants to find a soulmate, for sure. Lucy definitely like moves through the world heart first, and her big thing is she's afraid she'll never find anyone who loves her as much as she loves them. So, will she in The Sims? Probably not.
And what are some of her personality traits?
Oh, so she's self-assured, sometimes too much. She ends World War I, and it doesn't go well.
We've got categories of
Oh,
things.
Yes. I mean, in the novel Dracula, she hates children, but not in mine. She's outgoing. She is not a vegetarian. She's lactose intolerant, for sure. She cannot drink milk. I wish she was a kleptomaniac now. Let's see, what else?
I mean, 3 traits is...
3 traits is good? All right, her main trait is that she's lactose intolerant.
Oh, and we can also pick her walk style.
Wow. Wow. We're gonna go with the butterfly walk, right? Was that this one? Our butterfly
the
walk.
Butterfly walk.
Yes, yeah, that's Lucy.
All right.
Do you want to know a funny bit of trivia?
What is a funny bit of trivia?
So Lucy Westenra's name is Lucy Westenra in the novel Dracula, and then there's another character named Arthur, who is her fiance in the original novel Dracula. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use his family name for Iris, the love interest, our modern day love interest, and his family name was Goldeming. So I named her Iris Goldeming, and I built the Goldeming Empire and the Goldeming Wellness Cult, and then it turns out I had always read that name wrong, and it's actually Godalming. So if you read Lucy Undying and you're a Dracula fan and you're like, why did she change this name? It's because I didn't mean to. But it's too
it's
late
because
now.
I can't read.
Yes, we're actually going to pretend like it was on purpose. It was on purpose to distinguish my version from Bram Stoker's. What are reward traits?
Like if you work towards, your Sims once and like their aspirations, you get points and then you can unlock things.
And then you buy cool jewelry for yourself, because that's what I do. I earn reward points by doing my actual job, and then I reward myself.
Yeah, I'm like, where did this ring come from? It's amazing.
Yes, yes, this was I finished a book that I already got paid for that I was supposed to finish, but I still deserve a reward ring.
All right, so I can, here she is watching TV.
Okay.
And we've got Tamsin, who is Alexandra Bracken's character.
Mm-hmm.
Got Ilef from Heather. Got Sarah. And Maximilian from Delilah.
Okay, I was going to say, whose last name is Houdini, but Delilah, that makes sense. Yes.
And then we've got Malin from KX Song.
Cool, cool. And there's no way to make her a vampire? Is there a vampire option in the Sims?
There is a vampire option, and I think I should be able to cheat her into being a vampire without her having...
We should all be able to cheat into being vampire. I mean, vampirism itself is a cheat, right? I like that there are bars for bladder. We're just really leaning into the realism here. And I like that bladder comes before fun, which is true in life as well.
It's certainly true when you're on a cross-country flight.
Yes.
We've done this so many... There we go.
She's a vampire, and she didn't even have to suffer agonizingly to get there. So we're just much nicer than
And look,
Dracula.
now she doesn't have bladder anymore.
The realism is stunning. It's amazing. I'm like, that genuinely delights me. But now she has thirst. Yeah.
And she's thinking about making a friend and making a new friend.
Yes. Yes. You should.
But yeah, here she is in her penguin house.
Oh, the penguin house.
And who do you think in this literary cast of people would she be befriending?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know all the other characters well enough to say, but honestly, like, who's the most messed up in that house?
So we also have this character who's named Writer's Block. And she's the meanest.
Yeah, yep, that tracks. I mean, I feel like Heather's character is going to be the most messed up. Eilith, right?
Yeah.
Have you read a Heather Walter book? So I feel like Lucy would gravitate toward her and be like, we're going to be friends. And Eilith would be like, no, we're not. And Lucy was like, we already are.
Like, I don't even know where Eilith is. Oh, she's asleep.
She's sleeping.
The first thing Heather did getting in here was she deleted 2 of the beds.
You should delete all of them except for one, and then there's only one bed.
She deleted 2 of the beds and then pranked all of the toilets.
And meanwhile, Lucy's just watching TV. Underachiever.
What do you think Lucy would gravitate towards?
Oh, writing. A very important part of the book is that Lucy keeps a secret journal. She has her real journal where she performs who she's supposed to be because she knows that her mom reads it, which is, unpardonable sin. And then she has her secret journal that she keeps. And that's part of how Iris falls in love with Lucy, is finding her old journal hidden in the house that Iris inherits, and starts reading about the life of Lucy as a 19-year-old heiress, and just is very charmed by her.
And you originally wanted to do a lot of different ways of portraying the story throughout it.
Yes. Initially, I always have this thing where I'm like, wouldn't it be cool if, or I wonder if I could pull this off? And the answer is almost always no. But I had one of the storylines was told out of order, and the reader had to really pay attention to figure out where they were. Readers don't like paying that much attention, guys. And then I had a whole section of materials from my multi-level marketing vampiric wellness cult. If you want to join, I have all the materials. I can give them to you. I had an entire section written not as text, but as a transcribed therapy session. It's not interview with a vampire, it's therapy with a vampire. And I had all of these things jumbled together, and Trisha Narwani, my brilliant editor, was like, what is the heart of this story? And the heart of the story is Lucy and her love story, and her love story with Iris specifically, but also Lucy's journal to getting to a point where she could love herself and love somebody else. And so everything that didn't serve that narrative got cut, including my cult. You can no longer join my cult.
You're like, wink.
See me after. So I like playing with format. I like playing with found documents, because the original novel Dracula is sort of a found document novel, right? You've got newspaper clippings, you've got letters, you've got diary entries, you've got pages long anecdotes from old fishermen told in near unreadable dialects, because Stoker really liked his dialects. But all of those things combine to tell the story. And so as an homage to that, I wanted to have more found documents, but it turns out the reason why we don't write books like that anymore is it's hard to sustain a narrative that way. Kudos to Stoker. He still needed an editor.
I love that Trisha was just like, please don't make me.
Please don't. Please, can we make this a narrative? She's brilliant. She's wonderful to work with. And that's one of the things that I love as a writer is I come in with all these ideas, and this is how the book is going to be. And then getting to work with an editor takes me from what I can do to what I wanted to have done. So she helps me find the book that I was trying to write all along, if that makes sense, and just getting in my own way constantly while doing it. Lucy Undying is a novel that's sort of a riff on Dracula. I take the character of Lucy Westenra, and instead of her dying at 19, she moves through the decades trying to find herself, trying to find her place in the world, trying to find true love, and in the meantime, Dracula is stalking a new victim, and she has to figure out whether or not she has it in her to stop him.